Good thing.
Welcome to the Monday night masterclass. And tonight we've got somebody here to help tickle your funny bone. Usually we have like people that are going to take us down and teach us a strategy, how to make more money, have better energy, all this kind of stuff. And like, that's great. But they say laughter is the best medicine. And we've got a treat for you tonight. Like, Lisa Donnan is a great friend of mine. We met while we're over in Miami. Like, could you believe that? Out of the entire planet, the two of us ended up in the same conference, and we just hit it off. I don't know. Lisa just had an amazing energy, and she just turned around, and I said, "Oh, what is it that you do?" And she said, and she told me she's a stand-up comedian. And I was like, "Okay, so where have you played?" She goes, "I just decided now." That's basically what and it was great. Like, she just, like, but you got to hear Lisa's story behind the comedy, which is going to be amazing. I know she's going to get to that later, but Lisa's story is something that's going to empower you. It's going to, like, just really, I'm just not going to say anymore. Lisa, I'm just going to switch to you and you just take it away.
Where do you want me to start? 1963? No, I'm just kidding. Oh boy. Hair and makeup should have came in today. Wow. Anywho, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm here to tell you, first of all, that shit is gonna happen to you during your lifetime. And you just gotta push through it. Because I've been through it. A lot of it. I was somebody who did sports, team sports, and I was really good. But you couldn't play sports as a girl back in my day. At least not against the guys either, because their mothers would call your mother because you beat their son at a sport and they were pissed, and was your girl playing the sport, and that it was a whole freaking mess. And there was no careers in that. It's not like the WNBA now that I follow. There was no hope for that. You know, we were back in the home ec days when I wanted to do freaking, shop and learn how to, like, change, do something with a battery on a car. And they're teaching me how to make muffins and all this other shit. I still can't bake for nothing, right? And I had to pay one of my friends to sew an outfit in home ec for me. $25. She cut the pattern out. And then the teacher calls me up and says, "Can you show us how to thread the bobbin?" And I'm like, to which I push the pedal like Mario Andretti driving a car, because I've never used a sewing machine before. Jam the freaking thing. Teacher comes up. She's like, "You never did this before, did you?" And I said, "No, I had to pay Dee Dee to make my shirt for me." So I was never into the homebody stuff, but I kept going. I said, maybe things will change. They didn't. But when I was 12, I got a case of pneumonia and nearly died at that. Couldn't go in the hospital at the time because they had a flu pandemic, not like this one. And they were afraid that I'd catch it on top of the flu. But I remember the doctor saying, we're not sure she's going to make it. And that's not really too good to be hearing, when you're laying in your bed going, So I had that for a couple of months, missed school and everything. And then we move on again. So we jump. I jump and I'm like, well, what do I want to do? I have one brother. He's doing his thing. He got married. He kind of went his way. And I just traveled the damn world. And one of the places I was able to visit was actually Australia. I was there in 1986. And I pulled out this nice 1986. Well, it's backwards. Check out that hairdo. Come on. Yeah. That was the Australian Zoo. You remember Steve Irwin? I don't even think it was called that then. Yeah, I was there. I had a blast. I was there for like 2 weeks, had so much fun. And that's the good thing is I've been able to travel the world, been to Italy. I've been so many places, met so many people, had so many laughs at different cultures. I'm just a people kind of person. You know, there's nothing, Italy's got a lot of churches. There's nothing like the churches quite in New York, where like Vicky thought the author of the hymnal, you know, maybe, remember that day, Beck, when you're like, oh, is he's the publisher or something like that? And we were trying not to laugh like hell in the church that day. So I was able to tour, tour, I wish I toured, but I was able to see the whole world. I've been to Hawaii a couple of times, and well, you got to go to Hawaii when you go to over to New Zealand, then you go into Sydney and Brisbane, and saw all kinds of stuff there. I nearly got hit by a car there because I was looking the wrong damn direction. You people drive on the wrong side of the road, that screwed me up at intersections. That was fun. So then I jump into the fact that, okay, I think I need to settle down. So I got married in my 30s, late bloomer, to a guy that became abusive, had a son. And when Spencer was 2.5, I finally said I had had enough. And he went to work. And I took us, got in a car and drove to my parents. I've been here ever since. So then, when all it seems like, I was in court for 13 years to the tune of over $70,000 of rotten bastard shark lawyers. Sorry if you're a lawyer, but I mean, holy smokes. If you didn't give your credit card over, forget it. Your kid was in jeopardy, for real. And so anyway, that was a 13-year process. And in the midst of that, I go in because I think I have a sinus infection, and I have to have a MRI. First they did just a regular x-ray, and then they're like, oh, you think you need a CAT scan. Then I had a CAT scan. Then they're like, oh, we think you need an MRI. Me not thinking anything, in the midst of my mother just dealing with her breast cancer. And they're like, oh, you have a tumor. I like, a what? I can't have a tumor. My kid's 5 years old. They go, yeah, you got a pituitary adenoma. I'm like, what the frig is that? And they're like, oh, it's right at the front of the frontal lobe. They're like, we're going to have to go in. They take your nose apart, go up and remove the tumor. And only then will we know if it's cancerous or not. Usually they're not, but you never know. And it's in a weird place and all this bull crap. So I go in, scared to death. My son stays with my mother and father. And I am in ICU I picked over a Thanksgiving weekend to have it done because I knew Spencer would be with his father, visitation. And so I got that done. And, my brother came to visit me. And to this day, my thoughts haunt me because here I am in the ICU on Thanksgiving. He comes up. Now, granted, we didn't really talk that much because once he got married and sister-in-law gets into the picture, she didn't want me in their field of vision. So that's just the way it was. But I literally lost my brother when he got married. But he came and I was shocked. And I had to have a special wristband for when I had the surgery in case my ex found out that I went in, that they were afraid that he would come up and do something. Can you imagine that? Well, I was like, But so my brother comes up and he's like, what's going on with the wristbands? I said, oh, they're just trying to protect me. He goes, well, they asked me, are you so-and-so, my ex's name? And he said, no. And they said, oh, well, only he can go and visit. He even had that messed up. So my brother comes in, he couldn't take looking at me. I had, they take tampons. I know it sounds gross, but and they connect them, and it goes all the way up into your sinus cavity, all the way down. And I'll never forget that bastard that pulled it out that day. He just went whoosh. I swear to God, if I see him today, I'd know who he is, and I would kick him in his balls. But here I'm thinking to myself, my brother is probably the luckiest guy I know, as he's walking down the hall. And I'm crying, going, how did I get so messed up? Got all these problems. Look at him. Shortly thereafter, do we get a phone call from him saying he has kidney cancer, but it's contained, and he's got to go in to have his kidney removed. So, he's 45 years old. And I'm like, what in the hell? I mean, for real. So it panicked me. So I immediately went over, to his house, and we were talking about stuff, but it became and let me tell you, I jumped over one thing, which is my grandmother died when I was 7. And from 7 years old, I was panic stricken. I've had anxiety all my life because she passed away, and it just threw me for a freaking loop. I just didn't understand it, couldn't comprehend it. So anytime I got sick, like pneumonia or whatever, I was like absolutely petrified that I was going to die. And the fear of dying became just an obsession with me throughout my lifetime. Now it's just one of those things, you get to my age and it's like, whatever, it's got to be better than this shit, for real. I'm not ready to go, but holy crap. So my brother, he had kidney cancer and so many operations, and he just showed me what true courage was all about. Never really had the opportunity to talk to him about things that were going on, because if I was in the room with him, then my sister-in-law would be, and you just couldn't have a conversation. She kind of controlled what you could and couldn't say, kind of deal. So, which sucked when it is your brother, and there's so many things I wanted to say to him, to comfort him, but it was horrific. And at that time, my father and my mother both weren't well. So my brother's sick. He gets put on hospice care. My mother's having heart issues. I go to the hospital with her because she had to put stents in and a pacemaker after that. And I kept trying to build her up. There's no crying in baseball. I wrote it on her bulletin board in the hospital. Meanwhile, I got my father at home that I'm doing IV things at home for him, because I worked in neurology for 12 years. That was the other thing that helped me kind of with becoming a little more brave. Still not there, but I saw so many amazing patients going through just life-changing illnesses, and just talking to them and comforting them was a comfort for me, really. And sometimes, not often, but sometimes a little humor had to be thrown into the mix with that too. My brother he was hysterical, quick-witted. I truly believe that he should have been the comedian for real, because he was just funny as shit. If you got him at a party, holy smokes. And then if the two of us would just go back and forth at each other, like, with different things. We couldn't say, they weren't like your mama and your mama jokes, not like that, but close. We would call each other out and what have you. And I would always laugh at his freaking Dallas Cowboys, and he'd, razz me on some other team kind of deal. So 8 years into the mix, He's in hospice. My father goes in for a procedure. He has COPD. He has lung cancer, a spot on his lungs. Now, in the midst of all of this procedure that he was with my mother, just the same day surgery, all shit hits the fan. He goes into sepsis. My mother calls me. Now, meanwhile, my mother can't handle any of this. She hasn't seen my brother. She just can't handle it. She has nerves. That's how I get it. Thanks. Couldn't get like good looks or anything like that. I gotta get the shitty stuff. But nonetheless, my father goes into sepsis. They got to put a bag in. Then he couldn't breathe, so they had to put him on a ventilator. We've been hearing a lot about ventilators lately. And it makes total sense now. It didn't then. But, you know, it's hard to come off those. That's why I don't know why people are screwing around with this pandemic, because especially if you have anything going on, it really is hard. I mean, God bless those people that do get disconnected. But now I know the troubles my father had, being a smoker. I heard you saying today, Joel, about people smoking. You know, I don't get that either. My brother smoked, and I used to say to him, you know, what the hell are you doing? My father smoked. Now my niece, my nephew, they smoke. I don't see them, but I know that they, you know, I know they smoke. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You saw what your father went through, for shit's sakes, you know? I figure the only time I'll smoke is when I get cremated. Then I'll be smoking hot. First time in my life. See, there's always a hope. But so my father was in ICU for a week. I stayed with him. It was the first time in my life I ever saw my father scared. He was my rock. And we held each other's pinky the whole week. He finally, he could hear me, but you know, when you have a vent in, you can't, you know, really communicate well, but his eyes would communicate. And I just talked to him consistently, kind of like I'm doing with you right now. And I'm sure he was saying, shut the hell up, you know, but I'm telling him when it's on TV, what's outside, whatever. They tried everything. He finally battled back. Okay. They gave him no odds and he was battling back. I'd have meetings with the doctors every morning. They're like, why are you sitting in the meeting? Because I want to know what's going on. He's not going to come back, blah, 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 blah. Lo and behold, they get him to the point where they can now take him off the ventilator. And they took him off the ventilator. He went into cardiac arrest. They did bring him back. They put him in some kind of cooling suit. And he remained like that for a couple of days. I was by myself because my mother was watching Spencer and she just can't handle that. And so I was kind of in touch with her at home, and I would text my sister-in-law to, you know, just let her know we weren't going to tax my brother with what was going on. And finally on November 11th, which is Veterans Day, I told them that he had enough, and they removed him from the machines. And it was peaceful. As a matter of fact, it was a cloudy day. It was you know, whatever you believe in. I'm just telling you, there's only been a few times in my life where I've been in awe of, it was a cloudy day. And when he passed, I told them to take all the crap out of him. And the sun came right in the window and shined right just on his head. It was the most amazing thing. So now I deal with going, you know, having to call my mother, and I go home and people are coming over with stuff. They had heard he passed away. And we got a house full of people, and trying to figure out what we're going to do. And another strange thing that happened was, and it had never happened in our house and it's never happened again. We're all in what's called the den. And the lights went out only in the den, not in the house, just in the den. which was kind of weird. I had to go down and hit the breakers. I found a pair of glasses on the stairs that I had lost months ago. It was just bizarre. But anyway, I had told my sister-in-law when I was up the night before that if anything changed, please let me know. Now, my father just dies. Here I am at home. It's 9 o'clock at night. My nephew calls to say that his, he's not doing so well. Things are starting to change. So I then fly up to their house and proceed to watch my brother at 53 years old pass away. And, do I still fear? Like I said, I really don't fear dying. I wish I felt like I do now back then. I also know that the older you get, like you guys are a little younger than me, but believe me, as strong as you guys are now, man, 10 years from now, your mindset, you keep going the way you're going, it's going to be unfreaking stoppable if it isn't already now, because you get to the point you just don't give a shit. And I don't mean about people. I'm just saying that nothing shakes you. It's like, people say, oh, well, you're ugly. You shouldn't be on the video. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Don't look. It just doesn't freaking body anymore. And that's a good thing. So I finally said, what would it be that I need to do for me to change things up a little bit before I go tits up and I gotta, so I said, I think I want to try comedy. And I put it out to the universe, and this woman that I knew, Carrie, happened to be doing a demo for a product she was doing at the time up in Massachusetts. And she said, could you come up? And, I had put, Joel, when I saw you at the conference, that was the first time verbally, when you asked me what I did, that was the first time verbally that I ever said, I'm going to be a comedian. I mean, there weren't a lot of them there. And I just got used to saying this shit is going to happen. And the only way it's going to happen is by saying it's going to happen. So say it and then do something about it. So I went and I did the her conference. Was I scared? Yeah, a little bit, because I never did this shit before. But once I got the mic in my hand, it was like, okay. Crowd was great. And it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. And from that, I had posted it. And then the next thing I knew, I heard from some people over at the Mohegan Sun at Comics. They're like, would you be interested in doing that? I've been doing that for, probably 3 years now. And I got to tell you, those shows, they suck at the fact that they're bringer shows. So you get like, you have to bring 4 people or you can't go on. And I always feel bad for the people that don't like one of their, and it's a pain in the ass. Who wants to have people drive an hour to come, you know what I mean? It's craziness. So in the host of all things, I've been there, like I said, for almost 3 years. I do Minute to Spit It. I do, which Hank Norman actually was the one that told me to, why don't you do that? And I still do it about crazy shit or whatever's going on. I get tired of talking about cheese puff, but everybody wants, that's Trump, but everybody wants, to talk about him. And I'm like, the more you talk about this guy, the more he loves it. Just screw him. But, I've been doing that, and I do, some kind of, whatever, anything that's funny, anything that I find funny in life, because, let me tell you, the first time I hit that comedy stage, though, actually on a big stage, I was like, ooh, can I do this? You want to talk? If I had a heart rate monitor, God knows what that was. But I'll tell you something about once you hit the stage, that. That first time doing anything is scary as shit. but you just got to put one foot in front of the other, grab the mic, and and me having the brain surgery and what have like that, do I forget shit? I'm 56 years old. I forget shit anyway. You know what I mean? I walk out of the room. I go, what the hell? I don't even know what the hell I came in here for. Walk back out. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. And then you go back in to find it again. Has that happened to me on stage? Absolutely. You just kind of fill in the spaces. Look at people's faces. Relate. Talk to them. That's what I do. So I've been doing comics. And I do the Stress Factory. That's good for me. Leave all my stress there. That's in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And I was just getting ready to do a comedy club down in New York. This guy, Evan, had contacted me and wanted me to come down. And then everything, the shit hit the fan, so to speak. So that's where I am. I got a kid sleeping in the corner, but he's healthy. Everybody's healthy here, thank God. And we try to find the funny every day in life. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
That was awesome. Does anyone have anything they want to ask Lisa at the moment? Like, Lisa's going to do some comedy soon for us, but just in the intermission. That's showbiz talk, by the way, Lisa. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best I've got. I'm sorry. You're all meant to laugh. It's like funny. No, see, I told you.
Tell me a joke. I love when people say that. Tell me a joke. Joel, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, see?
It's too PG. It's like...
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just talk about life. I can't tell you a knock-knock joke, that kind of thing. But no, I know it's one of those things. And then if you get you're up on stage, you get a heckler. I can't hear what the frig you're saying. It's the other beauty of getting older. The frig are you talking about? I can't hear you. It's like freaking, whatchamacallit, Charlie Brown's teacher in the background. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. Sit down. I remember my first beer too, buddy. Just sit down, relax. It'll all be good. Take my clothes off soon. You can go to sleep. You know what I mean? It's craziness. Yes, all two. Hey, I got 3 people. I said nobody's going to show up to this event.
No, you got 14. There's 14.
Oh, I do? Holy shit, 14.
The big crowd. Well, there you go. So
look at that.
I'm going to let you take it away. If you're ready, I'll mute myself again. You just go for it, hey?
Oh, yeah. Hey, let me get a prop. Hold on.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry in advance. No. Oh, there you go. I didn't know what you were going to
get. I got all kinds of props over here. See, this is when I do other things. Remember this one? You very kindly took a picture of me in a Zoom room, and I looked like I died. I looked like I was in a casket. I went. Like, thanks, Paul. You had to freeze that freaking screen. Yeah, like, holy shit. I'll have what he's drinking.
Everyone's relating to you right now because I do it to all these poor people every Monday.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? And that's the best picture I've taken in years, for real. But anyway, hey, listen, this is the earliest sit down, stand up I have ever had. So congratulations. This pandemic, it's driving everybody nuts, for real. Okay, now I've lost not only my comedy stage, and I thank you, Joel, for allowing me to do this, but I also lost my part-time work. Some of you may know, and don't be shocked, but I am a pole dancer. It's true. I've been dancing at the Silver Kitten for a while now. Yeah, and I could just imagine how shit's gonna change now. I gotta now sterilize the pole, the stage, any of the coins get thrown at me. And let me tell you, that shit hurts. You know, I don't get dollars. At 56, you get coins and you're happy for them. Now I'm going to have to sanitize those. And somebody please tell me, how am I going to do a lap dance from 6 feet apart? It's impossible. I'm in deep shit for quite a while, let me tell you. It's craziness. But there's advantage to being an older pole dancer, for real. Like, for instance, I got menopause. I can climb the pole and stick to the top of it. That's a talent. Most slide back down. I come down in a shudder and a screech. That's annoying as shit, let me tell you. And it's chafing too. Craziness. You'll figure that out down the road. But I'm also proud of this. I'm known for the longest tassels in Connecticut. That's right. Not only can I dance for you, Matthew, but I can stir your drink at the same damn time. Disadvantages of having long boobs would be walking to the bathroom at night thinking I'm having a heart attack. Nope, that's just me standing on my nipples. Ouch. Someday you'll know that too. Not you, Matthew, but some of you. Anywho, I did try a different job for a bit. I worked at Amazon. Have you heard of them? As a picker. What's a picker do? The computer brings a shelf over. You get a screenshot of what you need to pick out of a bin, and they tell you what bin it's in. You pick the shit that you ordered online and put it in a tote and send it down. So I'm going to tell you right now, Matthew, your penis stimulator should be there by Tuesday. The fake vajayjay and the purple dildo with bunny ears, bunch of freaks out there, for real. But this pandemic is driving everybody crazy. People worried about wearing makeup. For real, I haven't worn underwear in 2 months. It's going to feel like a girdle. We cleaned out closets. I found my mother's butt pad from, can you see that? You can't see it. From 1980. It's unbelievable. But we have Dr. Burks over in this country. So she is now allowing people to play tennis. It's okay. As long as you mark your balls, guys. She said that. I'm going to be checking. And, nothing's off topic. Anybody done anal bleaching? No? I don't see any hands up. I don't quite understand the whole anal bleaching. Can somebody explain that to me? Like, isn't that a waste of money? For real. The next time you take a crap, isn't it going to turn brown? And now ladies, they're steam cleaning their vajayjays? What is going on with this? I know everybody's in the health industry. Have you heard about this, Vicky? It's a real thing. You sit on what is an enclosed box with a hole in it. And what they do is have you sit down naked with a drape over you. They call it a throne. So wear your tiara because you'll feel special. They put herbs and hot water and shit underneath, comes up and it cleanses your uterus. Can we leave our lady parts alone? Nobody wants steamed tilapia, for real. And I apologize, because that's gross. But you kids are freaky. We didn't worry about that shit back in the day. We just swatted the flies away and that was it. Craziness. Unbelievable. Anyhow, that shit's like a neti pot for your crotch. That's really what it is. You know, anybody try a neti pot? But listen, I've talked a lot and I want to explain something. My brother and father died in 2014. Every time I go to hit the stage, I say, this one's for you, because they missed out on a lot. And I'm telling you to reach for your dreams. Run towards them. Is it going to be scary? Hell yeah. Are people going to say, oh, I don't like your haircut, I don't like your face, your nose? Hell yeah. Who gives a shit? You got one lifetime and one journey. Do you be happy and stay healthy? The end. Curtain closes. And Matthew, thank you, Matthew. Namaste.
Well done, Matthew. You're the star.
Matthew is a star. I stirred his drink and everything. Should have seen his face on the tilapia party. I was like, huh? He won't have seafood for a while, but it's all right. Vicky's expression never changed. I swear she put a picture on her computer screen and is like off cleaning windows or doing something. It's not even her. She's not there. Are you there? Huh?
It's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah. Are you there, Vic? Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, I feel better. She had that look of like, which I do want to say, by watching, I've watched you from the start, Vicky, and how much, truly, I ain't just blowing smoke up your ass. Here we go with smoke again. But from the very beginning to now, I mean, it just takes doing. You have to be able to do things in order. You look back, like I will. I'll look back at routines or whatever, and I'll go, oh my God, that was freaking awful, or whatever. But that's how we all learn. You have to learn by doing it. You're not going to learn by watching somebody else do it, or, you know, it's a process. And so is life. So congrats to you, because you've come, I know it doesn't mean shit from me. Look, if I was Oprah, you'd be going, but you know, it's amazing. Bravo. I always carry this little rock. See the little rock? I don't know what it does. It grounds me. Anybody else like getting grounded? No? Okay. I'm on the other one. How do I see the other 14? Go ahead, shoot them up so I could see what they look like. Oh, I see one more. Look, she's like, how are you?
Yeah.
Good.
You have to swipe across, Lisa. Swipe across with your finger.
With my finger? Swipe across with my finger? How do you know where my finger's been? That don't do shit. Oh, up top? Wait. Oh, son of a bitch, look at you all. Hi! Oh my God, that's freaking great. I'm such a newbie. This is what happens when you're old. Look at that shit. Who knew? That's so much fun. That's great. That's why I had to get my son up. I popped into a few of his classes at school. He loves that, being in college. Teacher was looking at me like, hi. It's like, Mom, really? I could wear my butt pad. Please don't. I embarrass him. And that's the way it should be. You got kids, you embarrass them so that they know what that feels like. You know, now nothing phases him anymore either. See, that's a good lesson. Phase the shit out of your kids so they don't have any concerns or worries about who's looking at me, who's da-da-da-da-da. Just embarrass them. They'll get through it. Right? Like, and I learned how to Zoom. Oh, look at it. And there's Joel. Your face looks much better on this than mine. Jesus. I need to
it's
get,
special effects. Don't
you
worry.
seen those rollers where they roll out the the wrinkles? I need a freaking rolling pin. Just start at my ankles and go up to my damn head. It's like you put my picture on, I was like, whoa, make it smaller. What the heck? Is my nose really that big? It is. Oh, God.
I love
Hey,
it.
Dad.
So much wisdom in your story. I don't know. I don't think you give yourself enough credit for what that story does for people. I hope you tell it more and more. Like, I loved your comedy, but I really, really feel the power of your story. It really, every time I hear it, I think about it all the time. It's that powerful. So it's had an effect on me because, we all hear the cliche that, tomorrow's not promised and all that kind of stuff. And, you're living it. You've lived it, and look how far you've come in the last 4-ish years since I've known you. It's been 4 years.
I
Crazy.
know.
Yeah, something like 4 years. So yeah, I love every minute of getting to know you, and we love that you're a part of Mesh. So it's awesome, and I'm so glad
I
that I've
love
been
being
able
a
to
part.
introduce you guys.
Yeah.
Lisa, who loved tonight. It was a bit different, right?
I'm sure it was really different.
Cool. Well, I'm going to stop the recording now, and I'm going
Cool.
to let you guys have a chat with each other.